Welcome to MMA News Official.
What's up everyone and welcome back to the MMA Update Official. Today we're talking about Jack Della Maddalena, better known as JDM, who says Islam Makhachev will be surprised by his grappling. Ahead of their highly anticipated fight at UFC 322, much of the talk has been about JDM's ground game and whether it can hold up against one of the best grapplers in the sport. It seems like JDM has been listening to the chatter because he recently addressed it in an interview with Main Event TV, sending a clear message to both fans and Islam Makhachev. When asked what Makhachev might be underestimating about him, JDM didn't hesitate to respond. He said that Islam probably thinks he'll be able to take him down, hold him there, and submit him without much resistance. However, JDM believes his grappling will come as a surprise. He mentioned that he's been working on the right techniques and strategies specifically tailored for Islam's style, which he thinks will throw the champion off his game. JDM expressed confidence in his ability to handle himself on the ground but also pointed out that he expects much of the fight to take place on the feet, where he feels most comfortable. According to him, he'll be able to surprise Islam both with his defensive grappling and his striking. It's worth noting that JDM already has a submission victory inside the UFC, a first-round finish over Randy Brown, which proved that he's not just a striker. That win demonstrated his ability to stay composed under pressure and capitalize when the opportunity arises. Going into the Makhachev fight, JDM seems focused, confident, and ready to shock the world. He envisions a dramatic finish, saying he can picture the crowd erupting and his corner team celebrating wildly after the victory. The matchup between Islam Makhachev and Jack Della Maddalena is shaping up to be one of the most intriguing fights of UFC 322. Makhachev's dominant wrestling and grappling have overwhelmed almost every opponent he's faced, but JDM believes he has the tools to break that pattern. Fans are eager to see if JDM's confidence translates into success inside the octagon. With only a few weeks left until fight night, the anticipation continues to build. Who do you think will come out on top? The reigning champion with elite grappling or the rising star with knockout power and something new to prove? Dana White has finally addressed the recent UFC betting scandal, explaining the league's response and the role of its integrity partners. According to White, the UFC works with a firm called Integrity Compliance 360, IC3, that monitors betting activity on every fight. IC3 notified the promotion of unusual wagering surrounding the Isaac Bulgarian Yadier Diva bout prior to the contest, prompting the UFC to investigate immediately. White said the organization contacted the fighters and their representatives to ask straightforward questions, whether anyone was injured, indebted, or had been approached about fixing the fight, and received assurances that nothing improper had occurred. When the fight ended in a first-round rear naked choke, the UFC's first action was to call the FBI. White emphasized that he has met with FBI officials twice to discuss the matter. White pushed back on media reports suggesting hundreds of fights are under investigation, calling such headlines clickbait. He reiterated that the UFC receives detailed reports from IC3 after every event and that the monitoring process is long-standing and rigorous. White also issued a stern warning to anyone contemplating betting-related corruption. The UFC will cooperate fully with law enforcement and pursue violators aggressively. If you try to do this, we will be your worst enemy, he said, adding that the promotion will go after offenders, with the FBI and whoever else we need to get to ensure criminal consequences. Addressing fighters' claims that they have been offered money to throw fights, White said those athletes should have reported approaches to law enforcement immediately and that the FBI will be reaching out to those who now claim to have been contacted. He noted that numerous FBI agents recently visited UFC offices as part of the inquiry, underscoring the seriousness of the investigation. White compared unreported approaches to witnessing a planned bank robbery. If someone tells you about a scheme and you do nothing, you still have a responsibility to notify authorities. As more information emerges, White suggested the investigation could uncover additional details about suspicious activity in other bouts. For now, the UFC maintains it is taking proactive, transparent steps, relying on IC3's monitoring, communicating with fighters and their teams, and collaborating with federal authorities, to protect the integrity of the sport and punish any participants who attempt to manipulate outcomes. Paddy Pimblett has recently fired back at Islam Makhachev after comments the lightweight champion made about him in an interview. Pimblett, who has been in the spotlight for calling out Iliad Topuria for the upcoming Paramount card in January, has now turned his attention toward Makhachev. The back-and-forth began when Makhachev was interviewed by Brett Okamoto, where he dismissed the idea of Pimblett being in contention for a title shot. Makhachev stated that Arman Tsarukyan should be next in line, claiming that Tsarukyan deserves the opportunity after previously missing his chance to fight him. Makhachev added that fighters like Tsarukyan or Justin Gaethje made more sense as opponents, but definitely not Pimblett. He questioned Pimblett's record, asking who he had beaten, pointing out that Tony Ferguson and Michael Chandler have both lost to many fighters, and suggesting that Pimblett had not yet proven himself against top competition. Pimblett didn't take those comments lightly. In a recent UFC video, he responded passionately, saying that he hopes Jack Della Maddalena, known as JDM, punches Islam's head in. Pimblett expressed confidence in Maddalena's boxing skills and said that if JDM can keep the fight standing, he believes Makhachev will be badly beaten. According to Pimblett, JDM is a superior striker and has the potential to expose weaknesses in Makhachev's stand-up game. Pimblett then turned his attention directly to Makhachev, calling him out for what he saw as hypocrisy. He reminded everyone that Makhachev earned his first title shot after defeating Bobby Green, a fighter Pimblett claims to have beaten faster. Pimblett went on to call Makhachev a little bum, and challenged him to come back down to lightweight so that he could punch his head in. His comments made it clear that he felt disrespected by Makhachev's remarks and wanted to make a statement of his own. This fiery exchange adds another layer of intrigue to the ongoing rivalries in the lightweight division. While Makhachev remains focused on defending his title and facing top-ranked contenders, Pimblett continues to climb the ranks, building both his fanbase and his confidence with each win. Whether this verbal feud turns into an actual fight remains to be seen, but one thing is certain, Paddy Pimblett isn't afraid to speak his mind, and his words have once again stirred up attention across the MMA world. Aljamain Sterling has shared an update on his plans for his next UFC fight, offering fans a clearer idea of when they can expect to see him back in the octagon. During a recent appearance on the Ariel Helwani show, Sterling revealed that he's targeting a return early next year, specifically around February or March, depending on what the UFC decides to offer him. The former bantamweight champion discussed how his recovery and personal commitments have played a role in shaping his timeline. Sterling explained that he recently traveled to Mexico for stem cell treatment at Rejuva Stem, a facility known for helping athletes recover and enhance their physical performance. According to Sterling, the treatment was something he had been planning for a while, but various factors delayed the process. He originally hoped to undergo the procedure earlier in order to make a return to competition by December. However, scheduling conflicts and personal events pushed the plan back. He mentioned that his training partner, Rob, had a fight in October, followed by another soon after, which affected Sterling's preparation schedule. On top of that, he had his wedding to plan and attend, further delaying his recovery timeline. Once those obligations were completed, Sterling decided to move forward with the stem cell treatment to make sure his body was fully healed and ready for another intense training camp. Now, after completing the procedure and giving himself time to rest and recover, Sterling feels optimistic about returning to action in early 2026. He admitted that a December return no longer seems realistic because he wouldn't have enough time to prepare properly. Instead, his focus is on coming back stronger and healthier at the start of the year. Sterling emphasized that the exact date will depend on the UFC's schedule and what matchups become available, but he's confident that a February or March return makes the most sense. Fans have been eager to see Sterling back after his recent performances and his move up in weight. His focus appears to be on ensuring longevity in his career and avoiding unnecessary setbacks. The combination of stem cell recovery and a structured return plan suggests that when Aljamain Sterling does step back into the cage, he'll be ready to compete at the highest level once again. Here are the latest UFC updates ahead of this weekend's highly anticipated card. The fight lineup has undergone several changes following multiple fighter withdrawals. According to reports from Best Fight Picks, confirmed by MMA reporter Marcel Dorf, Christian Quiñones has officially pulled out of his scheduled bout against Adrian Yanez. The UFC is currently working to find a suitable replacement, but as of now, no one has stepped in to face Yanez on short notice. This unexpected withdrawal leaves one of the main preliminary fights without an opponent just days before the event. In another setback for this weekend's lineup, Robert Valentin has announced that he will no longer be competing in his fight against Jackson McVeigh. Valentin revealed the news through an emotional statement on his Instagram story, explaining that a back injury has forced him out of the contest. He detailed how he first injured his back over the weekend, re-aggravating it the following day. Despite seeking help from the UFC Performance Institute in an effort to recover in time, he ultimately decided to withdraw after realizing that even simple movements caused severe pain. Valentin expressed deep disappointment, saying he had been in great shape and was excited to compete, but the injury made it impossible to continue. He apologized to his opponent and the fans, adding that this is the first time he has ever been forced to pull out of a fight, noting that while he has fought through smaller injuries in the past, this situation left him with no choice but to prioritize his health. In lighter news, several UFC fighters have been cast in the upcoming sequel to the Roadhouse movie. Reports confirm that Roadhouse 2 is officially in development and will feature some familiar names from the octagon. Among the fighters attached to the project are Michael Chandler, Dustin Poirier, Michael Venom Page, and Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. While specific details about their roles have not yet been disclosed, this casting news has generated plenty of excitement among MMA fans and movie enthusiasts alike. As of now, there has been no official word on when production for Roadhouse 2 will begin, but the inclusion of multiple active UFC fighters signals a growing crossover between mixed martial arts and Hollywood entertainment. Despite the recent bout cancellations, the UFC continues to adapt quickly, ensuring fight fans will still have an action-packed event to look forward to this weekend.